Hello everyone, my name is Waken and welcome to my video on Teamfight Tactics Basics. When I'm streaming this game I get comments and questions in the chat asking how to do some things and what this does, and I figured I'd make a video to cover the basics, and I've had people want to join in and they don't quite know how to play the game, so hopefully this helps. If you want to come by and join in the games, I'm a very casual player. Then by all means do so. There will be a link to the stream in the description below. Just to make you aware, last season I was only a platinum player. I'm by no means pro at this game, but I believe I have quite a lot of knowledge to share. I hope the video helps, and thanks very much for watching. So let's get started. We'll start off with covering what is TFT, and TFT is short for Teamfight Tactics. It is an auto battler released by Riot Games and is based in the League of Legends universe. What an auto battler is it is a game where you're not in direct control of your units, which are also known as champions in this particular auto battler. You place them on the field, and then when the round starts, they will automatically fight for you. Think of this as your team of AI fighting another player's team of AI. The aim of the game is to be the last legend in the arena, and that's what your little thing is called in the bottom left. It's called a little legend. There are 8 of you in this arena at the start of the game, and as you go through each round, you will battle AI or other players. If you win, you will gain an extra bit of gold, and in the case of the AI, you possibly pick up items on the field. If you lose or draw, you will gain nothing but pain, and you will lose health. This is shown on the right hand side of your screen. If your life gets to 0, you are out. And if you're the last one in, you win. That's pretty easy, right? So how do you play? Well, there are 5 core elements, in my opinion, that make up a game of TFT. Gold, experience and levels, champions, items, and traits. And I'll cover each of these core elements through the course of this video, and look to release more advanced videos down the line, should you ask for them. The first core element I will cover is gold. Gold is very important. It is used for both the purchasing of champions and leveling quicker. There are a few ways to get gold in TFT. I'll cover the basics, but we can do a more advanced video on economy and handling the economy another time. For now, the basics are, you gain passive gold with every single round, whether you win, lose or draw. However, if you win a round, you get yourself an extra bit of gold. You can also gain additional gold from continuing win streaks or loss streaks. This means winning round after round or losing round after round. The higher the streak, the more gold you gain, up to a maximum while the streak is maintained or exceeded. The streak gold is in addition to your passive gold and any potential additional gold you get for a round win. As a result, it is important to try and maintain streaks, even if those are loss streaks. Win, lose actually nets you a lot less gold than if you had continued to lose all those rounds. Finally, there is an extra way to earn gold, and that is to earn interest on the gold that you have. If you save up gold, every 10 gold you have at the end of the round will net you a further 1 gold in interest at the start of the next round. For example, if you have 20 gold, you will gain an extra 2 gold at the start of the next round. The interest on your gold caps out at 50, so there is no need or any extra benefit to continuing to save more than 50 gold. For each 10 gold you have, there is a gold block that shows on the left hand side of your screen. This block represents every 10 gold that you have, and you can see your opponents on the right hand side of your screen as well. This gives you an idea of how much gold they have, and you can compare how you're doing on gold. That's the gold section for now, and we're going to move on to experience next. One thing you can spend your gold on is buying experience. As you play each round in TFT, you will gain 2 experience by default, and this will level you up over time. Early on, it takes less experience to level up, and you will level up after just a few rounds. But as the game progresses, you will need to spend gold on leveling up in order to keep up with other players. Each time you press the buy XP button, you will trade 4 gold for 4 experience. In the early rounds, this is a lot of gold, but it can make the difference between a win or a loss. The reason for this is because experience, and therefore your level, determines how many champions you may field in a single round. If you are level 1, you can have 1 champion on the field. If you are 4, that's 4 champions, and so on. The max level is 9. The first 3 levels of the game you will play against AI, so you do not need to worry about leveling. However, the next game, you're against a player, and if you buy just 1 lot of XP, aka trade 4 gold for 4 experience, you will level up to level 4. And this extra champion can make the difference between winning the early game. Your level also determines the chance of getting different cost champions, and therefore the higher cost rarity champions. As you level stronger, higher cost champions become easier to find, and will appear in your champion shop. The other thing in TFT you can spend your gold on is your champions. These are what will win you the game. You will start the game on something called a carousel round. These rounds will occur at the start of the game and in midpoints during stages. The very first carousel consists of the lowest cost champions, and they all hold a single item. Generally you don't really care about the first champion, but you do care about the item, so the one you will pick will be you carrying the item that you want, and you'll usually sell this champion to get the item off them, as they don't generally match up. At the start of each round you will be offered a selection of 5 champions to purchase. The available champions are random, and based on a percentage chance picked from a pool. These show at the bottom of your screen. That's your store. It can be a little complicated, but in its most simple form, at low levels you'll be offered lower cost champions, of which there are a large amount of each champion available. But as you progress in levels and experience, you will gain access to increasingly higher cost units. These champions are more powerful for the most part, but there are less of them available, and therefore there is a lower chance of them to appear. The champions in the game range from 1 cost to 5 cost. In general, it's safe to say that lower cost champions have lower statistics than those of the higher cost champions. That's why higher cost champions are harder to find. Why is finding champions important, you may ask? Well, one of the key things in TFT is that when you have purchased 3 of the same champion, they will combine together to form a stronger 2-star version of the original. They have much better stats than the original. Progressing beyond this, should you continue collecting that same champion, you can make more of these 2 stars. And if you make 3 2-star champions, well, they combine together to make an even stronger 3-star version, and they get sort of like a gold color to them. 3-star champions are incredibly powerful, and they can have a huge impact all by themselves. If you're able to find some higher cost units and even combine them into 3-star variants, well, they can win the game almost by themselves. When you buy champions in TFT, they will sit on your bench until you put them on the board. You have a large area of hexes in which to place your champions. A basic rule of thumb to follow is champions that have a low attack range should sit at the front, while champions with a high attack range should sit at the back. Champions with high health, armor, and magic resistance should also be placed at the front to draw fire from your squishier champions. Remember, you can place as many champions in the field as you have levels. However, the game has a nice mechanic where if you forget to place champions, but you have space on the board, it will take champions from the furthest left on your bench and place them to fill any empty slots you have. In TFT, you can also sell champions, and should you no longer wish to keep them, you can do this by dragging them off the bottom of the board. Individual champions will sell for the same cost that you bought it, for example, a 1 cost will sell for 1, a 2 for 2, and a 3 for 3. However, it is important to note that if you sell combined champions, you will make a loss. If you make a tier 2 cost champion, for example, it will cost you 6 gold in order to make that champion, but it will only sell for 4, meaning that you lose 2 gold. Generally, it's only a good idea to combine champions above 1 cost if you want to keep them, or you intend to replace them with a much more powerful but harder to find champion much later in the game. So you may be asking, how do I get my champions to attack the enemy? Well, champions will attack by themselves, and they attack in two distinct ways. Basic attacks, which every champion has, and an ultimate ability, which is usually triggered by gaining mana. Mana is a bar that sits below the health bar of each champion. Champions will gain mana by attacking and being attacked, and when their mana reaches max, they will unleash their ultimate ability. Champions default to attacking the closest enemy to them, but some ultimate abilities will target specific units or positions on the board, but this is something that needs to be captured and covered in more detail in a champion-centric video. Aside from buying more copies of champions to increase their tier level, there are 2 more ways to make a champion stronger, and the first is items. Items are basically buffs that you attach to your champion, and they come in 2 forms, basic and combined. Basic items will increase specific stats to your champion, but that is all. You can attach an item to a champion by dragging it from your inventory, which is located in the bottom left, and letting go of it on top of the champion you wish to play. Combined items are when you make 2 basic items and combine them together. This is done by placing 1 basic item on a champion, followed by the next. It will automatically combine the first 2 basic items a champion has on them, so be careful, as once you combine the items, you cannot break them apart. The only way to remove items off a champion as well is to sell them. A champion can carry a total of 3 items. This can be a combination of basic and combined, but bear in mind of the rules above. If you put a basic item on a champion, the next basic item will combine with the first item to make a combined one. I won't cover the advanced items here, there are too many to cover in this basic video. But I will do another video that covers items another time. There are some special items and item combinations which are important to consider, however, but for now try and read the descriptions on the items. You can do this by hovering over them and it will give you the details. You can also hold one item over another and it will show what they combine into. Generally, the basic item isn't all that important, but the combined item special ability is what you're after. Don't worry, as long as you don't drop both items on a champion, they won't combine, so feel free to hold them over each other when they are in your inventory. This can be a great way to learn how items work. The final thing I will cover in this video is champion traits. Arguably it's the most important factor in the game of TFT. While individual champions can be very powerful and make a huge difference in each round, the game is called Teamfight Tactics, and traits are what make your team stronger. It is hard to cover traits in a basic way, but we'll do our best. Every champion in the game has special traits. Most champions have 2, however there are a few who have 3. Traits are essentially a bonus that is given to all your champions with that trait, or, in some traits, the team as a whole. Some traits will give a bonus to defense, others offense, and some may even change what kind of damage the champions do. There are lots of different traits in the game, and I would recommend that you experiment with all the different traits and even combining some of them together. So you may be thinking, how can I take advantage of a champion trait? Well, it's basically like collecting and completing a set. You have to complete the set for the champion's trait to become active. You add to the set by fielding unique champions from that set. Don't try and cheat by placing 2 of the same champion in the game to try and get a trait. For example, placing 2 Caitlyn's at the start of the game to get that first level of chrono doesn't work. It's important to note that traits give incremental bonuses at varying levels. For example, the Darkstar trait gives a bonus at 3 unique units, then 6, and finally 9. You can check which units you need to add to your team in order to increase the bonus by hovering over the trait that shows on the left hand side of your screen. It also tells you what your current bonus is and how much the next level of the trait will be. The great thing about this is it also shows you what extra champions you need. One of the nicest things about traits in TFT is that champions who share traits generally look alike. Darkstar is a great example of this because all the champions are very dark in colour. They're all blue or purple and have a lot of black. Blade Masters generally all carry swords or daggers, and Chronos all look a bit like Apple products or maybe the robot from iRobot. That's all for my basics of TFT. If you have any questions or think I've missed anything, don't hesitate to drop a comment below or reach out to me on my Twitter. I'll respond as quickly as I can and either create a follow-up video or perhaps even edit this one. I'd like to take the time to thank you for watching and say have fun in the game, and I hope that this video helped.